Welcome to the Harvard Boat to Mexico. I'm Kent Garrett, the author. This is a serialized reading of my historical novel based on real events and told chapter by chapter. The story follows a group of Harvard rowers and a Radcliffe senior in 1968 as they face the turbulence of politics, war, race, and the Mexico City Olympics. Today's episode is Chapter 2, and the title is Jamal at Age 15. Right now, I'm sitting in a classroom listening to some racist bullshit from a sweating, balding, fat white man with a strong southern twang. He is our so-called history teacher. Of course, I'm not a racist, but don't you all think that people should live among their own kind, whites with whites, niggers with niggers? People should be able to live where they want to live and attend school where they want to attend school. If that results in segregation, or if you call that discrimination, well, that's just how it is. Maybe that's just naturally how it should be. What do you kids think? What do I think? I am furious, and I think I want to punch this motherfucker in the mouth. I look over at my cousin Jimmy, a fellow integrator, and see that he is thinking the same thing. Looking around the room, I see 10 white kids with their hands up ready to answer the stupid question. The other 10 white kids are just laughing and staring at me and Jimmy. My name is Jamal Jefferson. I have been told that my parents died in a car crash when I was 3 years old. For some reason, I do not believe that. I have heard whispers that they were, quote, activists, whatever that means. About a year ago, I found out that I have an eidetic memory. I looked it up in the dictionary, which stated that I have the ability to recall a large amount of information and data. It's kind of like a photographic memory. I always suspected that something was going on upstairs with me. When I was 10 years old, I would carry a Memphis phone book around with me to show off and make some money. I would go up to strangers or family members. Hey, Aunt Mag, watch this. I would hand her the phone book and tell her to pick a page, any page. I would look at it for 30 seconds maybe, give the page back to her, and repeat all the names and numbers in perfect order. Wow, boy Jamal, you are some smart. How did you do that? I would smile and say, I don't know, magic. Most of the time, my aunt would then go into her pocketbook and pull out some change. I had a good thing going. That feat got me a lot of attention, a little money, and led to a lot of dates, or should I say, quote, study dates with girls at my old high school. I'm not sure how much of this had to do with my eidetic memory, but I took the 1964 SAT college entrance test 3 months ago and got the highest score in the entire state. Of course, few people knew about that until a few days ago because the racist newspapers down here held back on printing such, quote, good news about a Negro high school boy like me for fear of pissing off their white readers. I also received a nod from Harvard College regarding a future application and potential acceptance. The only thing I knew about Harvard was that it was a good school located in the Northeast, so having this eidetic memory is probably a good thing. The bad news about my memory and the SAT success is that my Uncle Bill, who I live with in Memphis, now feels that he did the right thing by volunteering me to be one of the 15 integrators at East High School, which is the oldest, whitest, and probably most racist school in the state, if not the whole country. Uncle Bill is a gym teacher and an optimist. He thinks that exercise is the solution to all health problems and that integration is the solution to all racial problems. He also volunteered Jimmy. On the other hand, my Uncle Raymond, who owns a restaurant where Jimmy and I work in the summer sometimes in Brooklyn, New York, is a pessimist and does not believe that school integration will be successful. I mean, after the last 4 years, after much picketing and boycotting, we can now, in the year 1963, eat lunch downtown in Memphis, go to the library and the zoo. Since not much has opened up in terms of jobs for black folks, going to the lunch counter, the library, and the zoo are things that many of us cannot afford to do anyway. Anyway, I have no desire to hang out with or be with whites more than I have to. Mary Jane, tell the class where you think niggers should live and go to school. The teacher has picked the most racist kid in the class. She stands up and goes off on a demented biblical tirade about the separation of the races and white superiority. This is the kind of racist stuff that we integrators have been putting up with from every teacher for the last 9 months. I see black kids on television integrating schools in city after city, but the news cameras rarely go inside to show what happens to us once we get inside the schools. I get pissed off when any white people use the term Negro. This is what all the teachers call us. I feel like they are trying to get as close as they can to that magic word, nigger. Literally, it makes my afro bristle. Well, it's time for us to confront that white motherfucker. But just as Jimmy and I pull our chairs back from the desks to stand up, the 3 o'clock buzzer rings. The school day is over. Now the troubles start. That was chapter 2 of the Harvard Boat to Mexico. I'm Kent Garrett. Thanks for listening. If you are following along on Substack, you can also read the text version of this chapter. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss chapter 3 coming up next Wednesday, where we find out why and how Frank Luis ended up at Harvard. See you next time.